Imagine going abroad and then being stopped from leaving and detained for 6 years. That's exactly what happened to Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe. The British-Iranian national from London had been held in Iran since 2016, but she's finally been released. But why has it taken until now for her to be freed? Here's what happened. Back in April 2016, Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe took her daughter back to Iran to see family who lived there. But at the end of their trip, Nazanin was arrested at the airport in the Iranian capital Tehran. She was accused of being a spy. After spending months in detention, in September 2016, Nazanin was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Officials alleged that she was trying to topple the Iranian government, which she denied. Back in the UK, Nazanin's husband Richard begins what would turn out to be a campaign lasting years, urging the government to do what it can to free Nazanin. After years of alleged mistreatment in prison, in March 2020, Nazanin was allowed to return to her parents' home in Iran to serve the final year of her sentence. A report by a charity during that time said that Nazanin needed urgent psychiatric treatment and even called for her to be recognised as a victim of torture. She had been on numerous hunger strikes in protest of the way she was being treated while she was detained. And then in April 2021, just when Nazanin's sentence was due to end, she was sentenced to a further year in prison, and she was banned from leaving Iran for a year after that. By October of the same year, Richard Ratcliffe went on hunger strike outside the Foreign Office for 3 weeks in a fresh plea for the government to act. Then on the 15th of March, Nazanin had her passport given back to her, and the next day she was released and on a plane back to the UK. But why was Nazanin even detained in the first place? Her detention has been linked to the UK's failure to pay a £400 million debt owed to Iran that goes back to the 1970s. Back then, Iran paid the UK money for tanks, but then a revolution in Iran happened, leading to Britain cancelling the order. It had been ruled back in 2009 that Britain had a legal duty to pay the money back. But the UK said they were unable to pay the money because Iran was subject to economic sanctions because of their nuclear program. But over the past few months, negotiations between the UK and Iran have been taking place. Those talks have led to a deal that's meant the UK has paid off its debt without breaking the economic sanctions. And that deal has paved the way for Nazanin's release and the end of her 6-year nightmare.